think we are live.
Yep.
Resume. We're being live streamed.
Live streaming? What is this?
Oh, shoot. I hit the wrong button. I don't want to live stream.
Oh, Wayne, we're on OnlyFans.
Oh, no.
I wish we were. We'd actually make money that way.
Whack at your whack, whack at your whack, whack.
Brown chicken, brown cow.
All right, intro.
It's time for Red Salad Review with your hosts, Wayne Moon, Greg Narlow, and Lou Bass.
Hello, and welcome to Red Salad Review. Nice of you to join us, James.
What? I'm back. Yes.
Back in the
After
New
our
York
long-
groove.
Long
Yeah.
hiatus that we did here, you know?
It was a
Uh,
very long
I think
hiatus.
what happened, let's see. Since then, since the Night of the Living Dead that we got copyright striked, I went
For
to
3
Hollywood-
seconds. For 3
Yeah,
seconds of
for
content.
3 seconds. Went to Orlando for 10 days. Did not see Manny for some reason. He was like, that Swedish guy. I don't want to deal with him. Did Halloween Horror
PewDiePie?
Nights. Exactly right. Did Halloween Horror Nights. Did the whole Disney thing, and then we have a new member of our family. We got a puppy.
Hey.
Congratulations.
New puppy. So we've been dealing with that. So I'm a new dog dad.
Wow, that's exciting.
Yeah.
What about you,
Other than
Greg?
that, absolutely nothing.
That's awesome.
But I haven't done shit. I thank COVID for a couple.
Oh, you did? All right. And you're still alive. It's amazing.
Yeah, that was not pleasant. But
No.
other than that, really hasn't been a whole lot going on.
Very cool. What about you, Lou?
Glad to see you're okay, Greg. I ended up catching COVID too right after Christmas, but I'm
And
okay.
you're still here, too. You're still here. We're all still here.
Yeah, well, this variant didn't hurt me. Actually, none of the variants have hurt me, but this one was easy, and thankfully, my wife and daughter didn't catch it. But once I tested negative, I went back to the gym, and boy, was I freaking sucking wind like so quickly. So, but back to 100%. So let's see: work, band, podcast, family. Not in that specific order, but everything is status quo.
We did have our first band practice on Friday.
I saw wonderful pictures from that.
Yeah, it's fun.
Oh, you mean the Wayne looking like he was having a heart attack? That was perfect. Yeah, well, Wayne, that was a great little video that you made of us rehearsing with the actual audio track of A Fate Worse Than Death playing over it. Because
Yeah. That's what it sounded like.
We don't want to mention the name of the studio, but let's just say that we couldn't hear each other in the room.
Yeah,
It was
pretty bad.
it could have been better, but it is what it is. But we're not saying where.
Yeah, it's not an A in my book.
No, definitely not an A.
No, and I can't wait till I go in my room later to go to bed.
Yep.
All right.
Get what we did there.
But I did wake up this morning, and as I usually do, I check the Twitter and whatever social medias I have, and I did see a post from Ozzy, and he did post today that he's not touring anymore.
Yeah.
Why
So
now? Why now 20 years ago?
Yeah, no, when he was
Wow.
supposed to have really not toured anymore, but he said he had that accident, and his back is really messed up and everything, and his health is bad, so he's old. So
he's old, and how many people say like the drugs add years to your life. How many negative years has he been running that train?
We'll all be gone, and him and Keith Richards will still be here.
I was
Don't
gonna
you
say,
worry.
Keith Richards, I think, has his Ozzy beat, but
Yeah, that's the
We
only
thought
one.
David Crosby was going to be on that list, but nope, he proved us wrong.
Speaking of that, how about 2023 deciding to say, you know what, you guys thought 2022 was bad? Hold my beer. I'm going to take out everybody.
Yeah,
why
we're
not?
only in the first day of February.
Yeah, it's the first day of February. Like, how many people have been got from it?
Oh man, my opinion on the whole Ozzy thing. I mean, look, I've seen Ozzy 3 times with Sabbath since '99, and one, two, I want to say twice or 3 times as a solo artist. And I'm grateful to say that I caught him on good nights. But yeah, he should have been. He should have slowed down a very long time ago. And I say that as a huge fan of the first 4 albums, including the live albums. But looks like Sharon's not going to have that golden calf anymore to abuse. I mean, milk. So unfortunately, this
Damn.
probably means we'll get more of Sharon.
Sharon.
Why is she gonna tour instead?
Dear God, I hope
On
not.
wheels.
Imagine she was up on there singing all the Ozzy songs.
Oh,
Oh
Jesus.
my god, that would be so terrible. It wouldn't even work.
Yeah,
No.
here's her next single is gonna be Bruce Dickinson, an asshole.
Yeah.
Great.
What if she comes up with the idea to make an Ozzy hologram?
It wouldn't surprise me, but I don't see Ozzy going along with that.
I don't know. He seems to go along with everything she wants to do, but
Yeah, when has he ever put his foot down over anything with Sharon? Well, maybe maybe twice, and that was re-releasing Blizzard and Diary with Lee Kerslake and Bob Daisley on it, and sending Lee Kerslake his golden platinum records before he passed away. So probably 2 times he put his foot down with Sharon that he actually got his way.
yeah. So we might see the Ozzy hologram come at some point.
Wouldn't shock me.
No, it wouldn't shock me either. Well, we'll see what happens with that. But it's sad to hear because all of our heroes are getting old now. So they've been old for a while. But
Yeah, I was
Oh, yeah.
gonna say, like, some of them have been old, I bet. So.
yeah. Well, it's just weird. It's weird for me. I still feel like I'm hearing these. I still remember hearing these people from not that long ago. Like just discovering them and then seeing now that they're getting old to the point.
I remember seeing Ozzy going. I was like, man, he's kind of old to be doing this. In freaking 2003, before I would join the military, that was 19 years ago.
He seemed old to me. He seemed old to me when No Tears came out.
Yeah.
And to see
you mean no more beers?
No more, yeah.
No more beers.
Yeah, really the only time I ever saw him and it was bad was the last time in 2006. But before that, even though he looked old, he was still great. But just right around then, he kind of seemed like he was starting to fall apart.
Yeah. Even that TV show was like he was getting really bad too.
That was the beginning of the end for me.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it was Ozfest that year. Yeah, 2006. He didn't even really sing most of the songs. He'd sing a couple lines and then point at the audience and just walk away and do goofy shit.
He barely played half that. He barely played half that tour. He barely played half that tour. System of a Down was headlining every night.
Yep.
What's yours? 2 weeks on? Oh, what the hell is that? But we have Stan in the chat, and he's I put up a little I put up a picture of tonight's show, which is about top replacements. And he commented here, Blaze Bayley is not a top replacement, more like a forgotten one. And then he wrote Ozzy, the luckiest front man in the genre, a no talent hack who never wrote anything and was always surrounded by talent. And he wrote, Sharon, don't throw eggs around. They're worth too much money nowadays.
Well,
wait a minute. Is that Sammy Hagar you posted?
Yeah. I top replacement.
If it was Sammy Hagar, he would have said he was the original replacement singer, not Ronnie James Dio.
No, but the image I made an image of our top replacements. So I put Dio, Adrian Smith, Sammy Hagar, Eric Carr, Blaze Bailey
And Mark Wahlberg
Mark
and Steel
Wahlberg.
Dragon.
That should get us some clicks. So
Oh, possibly. Hey, let's
think
not
so.
forget though. Sammy almost replaced Phil Anselmo in Pantera.
I heard
Not.
that. And I don't know if you see the picture. Adrian Smith has a guitar in his hand, and the head of the guitar is up Sammy Hagar's butt.
That is beautiful. That is
It
a
looks
work
like
of
he's
art.
sitting on it. So
Awesome.
I did that for Ralph Vieira because I think he'd like that.
Oh, you totally did.
So anyway, yes. So our show is about the top replacements, and Lou, you came up with this idea. I mean, you mentioned that, and even Greg was like, "How the hell are we going to do that? That's like impossible." And I thought maybe it would be kind of easy, but then really thinking about it, it is kind of hard.
I overthought it way too much at first.
You did. You were going a little nuts, but I do kind of understand.
I mean, there was reasons for it. I mean, even I thought about it too, because I mean, there's some stuff in there you're like, really? I mean, would this one qualify, or would this one qualify, or would this one qualify? So getting the parameters was a little difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
Stan said
Stan?
Sammy Hagar made Van Halen popular.
Yeah, okay. You believe that one, buddy? I got a condo in Florida to sell you. Just give me your credit card number.
well, I mean, somebody posted, I think it was in a live chat or in a Twitter feed or what in the Rad Side Review Twitter feed, that it would be a good idea for us to discuss our favorite replacement band members. And normally Rad Side Review of old always did 6. I said, well, being that we also have Manny usually on the live shows, but he's not here today. Manny, hope all is well. Maybe because there's 5 of us, cut it down to 3 each. But, I mean, like if you have 3, 5 or 6, whatever, hey, at least we could discuss our top 3 and whatever. So, we could have gone the Rolling Stone route, and we could have gone, the top replacement members that made an impact for the band and their fans in the music industry. But
Which
we're
sucks.
not Rolling Stones. We have integrity. So, I mentioned
We have integrity.
we got integrity.
Integrity.
So, we could have just discussed, our favorite replacement members in bands who made the bands better for us. So I said, don't think too much of it. Just, whatever you prefer. So,
Oh man, I have no idea what's going on right now.
want to get high? Don't forget to bring a towel.
Let me get high first.
That's integrity.
You're the worst character ever, Tally.
I know.
That's
All
great.
right. So who wants to go first? Who wants to go?
Well, I have an honorable mention.
All right.
If,
Go ahead.
If we,
I
if
thought
we don't
honorable
have-
mentions get mentioned after.
Usually,
No, they get
Sure.
honored before. Only
Fine.
if, and you know what? And I highly doubt Greg did this, and I highly doubt Wayne did this. But I want to talk about the great 2003 trade of Metallica. Speaking of Ozzy, the Ozzy and Metallica trade of Robert Trujillo and Jason Newsted getting drafted for draft picks and conversation and future assets. No sports ball fans, I see.
No, but I did see that lineup live, and that was a great lineup for Ozzy.
It was a great lineup live. I did get to see that also at Ozfest.
That's where I saw it, in the Connecticut one.
Yeah, no, he was great. That was awesome.
I mean, it was actually cool to see Ozzy play some deeper tracks that tour, because he never played Into the Void outside of Black Sabbath. So for him to actually, and that's my favorite Black Sabbath song of all time. So to actually have seen them do it live with Mike Borden on drums, Zach on guitar, and Jason on bass, I was like, okay, this is cool. This is really cool. So.
And the other thing about that is Jason was doing double duty because he was also playing bass with Voivod.
Which
Yes,
they
he was doing
Oh, at the
Voivod.
same time.
they killed it that day.
Jason really helped bring them back and getting that record deal, and really helped that a lot financially and getting them on the Ozfest tour. He did a lot for Voivod. That was really cool. Not my favorite record, but he was good with them.
No, it was a good one. And I'm actually happy to say that during Cradle of Filth set, I saw 10 minutes of it, walked away. Voivod was by the merch booth actually shaking hands with fans and signing autographs or whatever, and they were all the nicest guys. And Piggy was really cool because I told him, hey, I'm a guitar player and I think you're awesome, and he was like, oh, thank you, merci. So it was pretty cool to say I met Piggy. So rest in peace, Piggy.
Awesome guy.
Very cool. All right, I'm gonna start this. I'm gonna go with Matt Barlow in Iced Earth. The first two Iced Earth albums had a different singer on each album. The first singer, he was okay, but then he had that like high pitched screaming thing that he did on some of the songs, and just kind of irked me a bit. And the second singer was actually pretty good too. Actually, a friend of ours, Lee Gibson, I talk to on Facebook every once in a while. He's actually friends with the second singer of Iced Earth. But Matt Barlow came into Iced Earth and really got Iced Earth to be like, for people to know who they are. I think without Matt Barlow, I don't think a lot of people I don't think Iced Earth probably maybe would have gotten as popular as they did without him. He was the voice of Iced Earth. And, when he left, it kind of just like, they were still okay, but they kind of went to shit a little bit, But Matt Barlow, he's just an awesome vocalist and an awesome front man. And we even had him on the show here when he was talking about Ashes of Aries. And
yes, he was.
Really cool guy.
And you mentioned that Kevin Conroy was his favorite Batman, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, well, which is the correct answer.
But yeah, I think he was like the best thing that they did for that band. For that third album. Was it the third album? Yeah, third album.
It was the third album, yeah.
Yep, good stuff. What about you, Greg?
How many are we doing, by the way?
I don't know. We'll just skip around. Just do whatever you want.
All right, cool.
That's why I just put top replacements. I didn't say top 3 or top 5, or just top.
Yeah, I got 6 written down personally, but we'll see what happens. For my number 1, I put Adrian Smith coming in Iron Maiden because Killers really is that quintessential.
Survey says.
Yeah, I mean, they're just one of the greatest guitar teams ever was born, and he has that sense of melody. It was like Robertson coming into Thin Lizzy. That really solidified the Iron Maiden sound.
And then, funny you bring up Thin Lizzy. I was going to add those 2 guitarists to my list, Brian Robinson and Scott Gorham, because when they both joined Thin Lizzy, the Nightlife album wasn't that great, but the next album,
I love Nightlife, even though
Nightlife is okay, but it's so metal. It's just like, I don't know. It's not what I wanted after the previous album,
Okay, you don't like stuff too heavy. We get it, Wayne. You're a little old fuddy duddy.
What? Nightlife was like a light out. It was like a almost
it's
like
light FM rock. It's beach music.
Yeah,
I was joking.
Yeah.
I was joking.
But the next album was just like, oh my god, this is so awesome. And those 2 made Thin Lizzy, I think. So I totally agree with you, Greg.
Yeah, it's just one of them things. Perfect matchup, And I love Adrian's style. That's why I so hope that new tour with the Somewhere in Time songs comes to the U.S. sooner rather than later.
Yeah,
yes,
they can't skip here. What about you, Lou?
Well, just to piggyback on Greg's answer, yeah, Adrian Smith is my favorite Maiden member, and he's the only guitar player whose signature guitar I actually own. So that's how much of an impact he made on me. But I'm actually going to say Thin Lizzy, but it's not Brian Robertson and Scott Gorham replacing Eric Bell. I'm actually going to say Gary Moore replacing Brian Robertson, because for me, Black Rose is the quintessential Thin Lizzy album.
It is my favorite.
It's my favorite. I mean, I remember hearing Black Rose when I was in Ireland and just remembering the impact that song made on me when I was in Dublin, of all cities. So I'll never forget hearing Gary Moore with Thin Lizzy for the first time ever in summer of 2005. And it's Gary Moore.
I should have picked that too, because that is my favorite Lizzy album. You
Mine's
know what? I'm
Bad
gonna throw him in. He's in my list.
Black Rose is one.
What was that, Greg?
And mine's Bad Reputation, but Black Rose is a really good one. And
Yeah, but
Brian Robertson only plays on 4 songs on Bad Reputation anyway. So
That's actually my third favorite Lizzy album. Second would be Thunder and Lightning. So, but yeah, I mean, it's kind of odd that, you know, the Live and Dangerous tour was recorded on the Bad Reputation tour and featured the 4 members, but Brian was a guest member on Bad Reputation because I think he got fired for getting into a bar scuffle or something.
yeah, well,
I mean, does that surprise anybody, really? I mean,
no, there was that. And I know what pissed him off is they said it was because he, kept showing up drunk all the time and totally hammered, but the rest of them were doing drugs. And I think he felt
Right.
really well.
well, he was a 19-year-old Glaswegian. What did you expect? Sorry
right,
for
James.
anyone in Scotland watching this that's offended by it, but I'm sorry, it happened.
I was staying quiet. I have family from Edinburgh, not Glasgow.
You were a twinkle in your daddy's eye when that happened.
I was.
And for all the counts, you still are.
Aha!
Well, the
never
important part
grow
is
up,
you
kids.
try.
Never grow up.
What about you, James?
So my first one, I have 2 singers, a guitarist, and a bassist. So how this is go. But my first one actually is Arch Enemy, Alyssa White. I had no idea how to say her last name.
Alyssa White Glues.
Blues. And she replaced Angela Gassau, which I actually enjoy Alyssa's vocals way more than I do Angela's, even though I do like Nemesis and I do like a lot of the Arch Enemy albums, with Angela in it. I just like Alyssa a lot better.
Isn't it Arch Enemy?
Yeah, I call it. Yeah, I don't care. I say Arch.
You
Get off my nuts.
Do you say Archangel or Archangel? What do you say?
He'll
say
be
Archangel.
dead in the
I do-
cold,
I do-
cold
I don't-
ground before he recognizes St. Louis.
Dude, just because I take
Arch.
a wrong turn at Albuquerque doesn't mean I don't. I mean, yes, I spell color the English way, not even the American way. All right, I do things that are weird. Okay,
Apparently.
exactly. Pinkies up at all times.
Your Emily post, very nice.
I never got into Arch Enemy. I've tried. I just
Right.
can't get into it.
I thought they were great. I mean, they still are, but for me, when Angela joined on vocals with Wages of Sin, right,
Yes.
James?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, like I was blown away by that. So
I mean, don't get me wrong. The albums start peaking when Angela gets on there. I just like Alyssa's vocals way more.
that's fine.
Stan says Arse Enemy.
Our enemy.
Oh, look at the Glasgowans are here.
The Glaswegians are here
The Glaswegians have arrived
by
on
way of
their-
Brooklyn.
on the way of Brooklyn by way of their haggis boats. Yes.
Kilt Tower.
What? Go ahead. Oh, I thought you were gonna say something, James.
No, I was just laughing.
Okay. This one is not metal, but this is a band that killed metal apparently to a lot of people. Nirvana. When Dave Grohl joined Nirvana, he really made Nirvana. The Bleach album's cool and everything, but the drums just didn't really mesh very well with the band. And when Dave Grohl joined, and that Smells Like Teen Spirit came on MTV, at that time it blew me away. And that was just, and still to this day, I think Dave Grohl is an awesome drummer, and I know a lot of people hate him and they're sick of seeing him and everything, but I still think he's a great musician, and he made Nirvana. He gave them that sound, not the guitar sound, but with the drums and everything. It just he added more to Nirvana than the original drummer did.
So I
That's
do
valid.
like the story from when I was listening to the Smells Like Teen Spirit. I think it was there was a 30 anniversary they had like a couple of years ago, or 40-year anniversary. I forget how old that dang album is.
It's 32 years old at this point.
So it was like
Wow.
2 years ago during the 30th anniversary, they were doing an interview, and Dave Grohl felt embarrassed that he had to use a click track during Smells Like Teen Spirit. during the whole Nevermind album. He felt like it was like the degrading of him the entire time, and the producer was like, "No, motherfucker, do it. We want this speed, goddammit," and put it that way. And it shows that, hey, even the best drummers sometimes need a little help with beat, Wayne.
Yeah.
Anyway,
no, hey, I hate the click track. I mean, now I'm used to it, but because I would never use it before. But it's a hard thing to get used to using. If you're not if it's something that you're not always playing to, because it feels like it constricts you to that click all the time. But once you get used to it and you play along with it more and more and more, you kind of just like forget about it. And I'm kind of getting to that point, so I understand what he went through. Sucks. Greg.
Oh, my number 2.
You're number 2.
Okay, good, because I don't want to talk about that.
I didn't number one.
Number 1. I request for you to take a number 2.
I didn't number mine. I'm just going whatever.
All right. Barney Greenway, when he joined Napalm Death, because that was a very important transition for them, where they moved out of being pure grindcore into a mix of grindcore and death metal, and just opened up so many more avenues for them and really set one of the standards in extreme metal. And to this day, they're still touring now as a 4-piece instead of a 5-piece, because Jesse Pintato passed, unfortunately. But I like their first couple grindcore albums, from Enslavement to Obliteration and Scum. It's cool for what it is, but you can only go so far with grindcore. You know what I mean? I love them, but them adding in the death metal stylings and getting Barney with the growls and the better ability to sing rather than just screaming, "You son of a why," in a second and a half, really made a huge difference to me. And Harmony Corruption, I still think, is one of the best metal albums of all time, along with Utopia Banished.
Another band I never got into.
Yep.
Well,
I have a feeling it's gonna be a lot of
not
that.
something I really see you liking, but they're great.
Yeah, we don't really see that going up your alley.
No.
I like
There's a lot
Napalm.
of things that go up my alley, but not that. What?
No, I like Napalm Death. I actually saw them in concert at CBGB of all places, with
Really?
Soylent Green, ISIS, and Diecast as the opening acts, and they were incredible.
ISIS was there?
Yes, the band ISIS.
Oh, okay. I was wondering why your throat wasn't slit.
Best energy in a show, and really one of the best shows I've ever seen, if not the best, was Obituary and Napalm Death doing a double bill in 2005 when Obituary just came back.
Mm.
Yeah,
Stan
and
wants us to talk about the greatest
Death,
band.
the same lineup that established in '89. You know what I mean? They really had some longevity with that and did some amazing stuff.
Yeah, they really did. Yep. And thank you, Barney Greenway, for making Napalm Death songs last from 1 second to 1 minute.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Also, the album he did with Benediction is great too.
Mm.
This thing.
Where'd James go? James, you live?
I don't know. But Stan wants us to talk about the greatest band of all time, Blue Oyster Cult.
Well,
the original lineup was
the original lineup was the best. It's funny you mention that, because I actually thought of mentioning them as an honorable mention, because the current band members, especially Jules Randino, are great. They're excellent live, but it's still not the same as having the Bouchard brothers and Alan Lanier. They had something really special, where even when they went total Papa and Mirrors, like, not all of it sounds like Blue Oyster Cult, but all of it ends up coming off brilliant, because they were such good musicians and how they could play off each other. And no matter who they get in the band, they would just never reach that level again. As much as I really honestly can say I do like every album, they just not a good candidate for this particular episode, unfortunately.
Yeah. Even though the last album though was really good though, and all the players they have on it, they're awesome. The new drummer is awesome. I can't think of his name, Robbie. I can't think of his name, but he's great too because he does everything. He sings, he's playing guitar, he's playing piano. I don't know if you guys have seen him live recently, but he's like all over the place.
I saw BOC. They did a free show in Massapequa Park.
Yeah, they're always out by you doing free shows. Yeah.
Yeah, and we got to see them. It was me, my wife, her sisters, and our brother-in-law. And my wife's watching them, and all of a sudden she's like, "Oh my God, that's Richie!" I'm like, "What?"
Richie Castellano.
Yes,
that's what I was thinking of. Yes, thank you.
Richie Cast. Oh, you said Robbie. Oh,
I know Richie, Robbie.
Well, Richie was a student teacher at SUNY Purchase when my wife Erin was a student there, so she actually got to know Richie very well.
That's awesome.
Not like cool. That, and not know her that very well. Just
well, it wasn't going there, but
great.
Oh, well, as far as she let you know.
Shut up, Wayne.
Good thing your wife doesn't listen to this show, Lou.
No, but no, she mentioned that Richie was a great guy. She's like, "Oh my God, he made it. He's at BOC." I'm like, if it wasn't for the stinking cowbell sketch, you wouldn't even be talking about them. Give me a break.
When did you go see that show?
That was September 2000. It was either August or September 2014.
I wonder if I was there because I did go to that show. And I know they did another one not too soon after that.
Do you remember a walking cowbell choir going around?
No, I don't remember that.
Okay.
Also, I remember is my wife wanted to leave. She does not like Blue Oyster Cult.
Should have just had her wait in the car then if that was the case.
I should have never took her. And I don't want to read this because I know Greg's probably going to get so angry right now. But I'm going to read it anyway.
What did Stan say?
Ghost is the new BOC, in his opinion.
No, Ghost is Ghost. BOC is BOC. The twain do not meet.
No,
Ghost is creepy ABBA at best. BOC imitators at worst.
We disagree with that, but I like their spooky music.
And Harry Barnett, why are my CDs dark now? Did I go and color them individually? And he put the European color spelling in that too, which is kind of funny. I have a
well, he's a Brit.
See what
doppelgangers do doppelganger things. Yes.
I am a teenager, a teenage girl, and I bought some LED lights, so now I can change my background, and I can do any color. See that? So I didn't color my CDs. I just bought some.
So now when he's sitting down there depressed and listening to Sunny Day Real Estate, he can change the colors to reflect.
You did not just drop Sunny Day Real Estate on Rod Solid Review.
Yes, he did.
I think I can make it go all crazy too.
The most emo band since Rites of Spring.
Oh yeah, I got him good.
Oh, look at that. He's gonna start doing multicolor now. He's gonna start doing a discotheque down there.
Let's see.
How does it feel?
I'll leave it green because now he pissed me off. So we know what happened when you turn green. Did someone die? Are the CDs darkened for the deceased? No, the CDs.
Only the death of good taste.
I do have some deceased albums in there though, but no, nobody has died. Manny isn't here though, so it feels like the show has died a little bit because we missed Manny. But no, everybody's alive so far. We'll see what happens later.
Let's keep it that way.
Who are we up to? Lou.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So I'm gonna probably get a lot of flack for this, but I really don't care. It's my opinion. The album they released with this singer is my favorite album that they've ever done. So I'm gonna say when John Bush replaced Joey Belladonna in Anthrax.
Yep.
I love Sound of White Noise still to this day. It's still my favorite Anthrax album.
I was just talking about I had a guest on before this show, and we were talking about that too. Actually, and his album was his favorite Anthrax album was Stomp 442.
That's a good one. That's some standout tracks on it.
It was like I told him, I said when I first heard it was a very big shock to me because Sound of White Noise is awesome. That's like, the best Anthrax album to me. And then hearing that, I'm like, it's missing something, it's missing Danny.
Yeah, you'll think I'm nuts if I tell you which my fully favorite one is.
Fistful of Metal, right?
State of Euphoria.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I think we did talk about that already. Yeah. That's a good one. When back in the day when I was getting into Anthrax and I got up to that album, I did love it a lot. And over the years, I could see it's kind of like, it's okay now, but I still do like it. But to me, Sound of White Noise is the best Anthrax. So I will.
Yeah,
I
I
like
mean,
it.
I was
just,
an Armored Saint fan before I was an Anthrax fan. So, for me, it was a no-brainer.
oh yeah, I love John Bush. It's a really good record. I happen to like the early Joey material more, but it's not a slight against that album at all.
Oh, Joey's awesome too. Just
Yeah.
John Bush just added something different to the band, which I
Yeah.
think they needed around that time because that's when metal was dying, and John Bush doesn't really have that power metal type vocal style that Joey Belladonna has, and John has that gruffier type vocals, and it fit that style in that era.
And musically, I kind of don't get why people bitch about it, because even though it fits like that era, it's not really a modern sellout like that. Like, to me, at least, it always sounded like completely the next logical step in evolution from Persistence of Time for them.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, I'm not knocking Joey either. I mean, if I wasn't an Anthrax fan, I wouldn't have gone to see Anthrax in concert. With Joey.
Which, by the way, he sung only awesome when I saw them back in August. That was really cool to see.
I'm glad you got to see that. I'm happy I at least got to see them do a snippet of I'm the Man. So that was pretty cool.
That's cool.
But good pick.
What's that?
I said good pick.
Yeah, good one.
Yeah.
Thank you,
it's
sir.
a tough one. It's a tough one when like bands like that have like three different singers. It's like, all right, I like Joey Belladonna, and you got John Bush.
We're not counting Dan Nelson, are we?
He was, well, we never got to hear him, so yeah, we don't know. But
No, I'm always amazed at the people that say Neil Turbin, though. I mean, I like Fistful of Metal, but
it's good, but I couldn't see him singing the other albums,
no.
Not at all. James.
All right, so I have when Killswitch Engage went from Jesse Leach to Howard Jones, and now they're back to Jesse again.
Did
Wait,
not
who?
know.
Who?
Jesse
Killswitch.
Leach. Yeah.
Oh, see, another band I don't know.
Yeah, another band you don't listen to.
No.
They're a little too heavy for your virgin ears. We get it.
Yeah, I can't listen to anything like that.
But no, and honestly, the latest album with Signal Fire, with both of them singing on the same song, it's actually a really awesome song and video with it. The both of them like do a handshake, like it's almost like a Pass the Torch again, and they go off on they go off through the lyrics. I like Jesse more than I do Howard, but I feel like during those times when the band made it big, I think Howard was one of the catalysts for it. So I know Lou has more opinions on Killswitch than I do. So,
Oh, I love Killswitch with Howard. Don't get me wrong. I mean, the 3 times I've seen Killswitch live was with Howard, and he killed those old songs, absolutely. And there was a lot of great material that he did with them. I mentioned to you, James, yesterday on Messenger. I said, I'm a Howard Jones fan as well. I mean, I loved his band prior to Killswitch, Blood Has Been Shed. I suggest people out there go check out the album Novella of Uriel. But Killswitch is a band that's special for me because I remember getting their CD when I was a college radio DJ. One of the ones, their debut album, their self-titled, I had that on rotation for months. I was playing it, and I ended up becoming very friendly with Mike D'Antonio, the bassist. Mm-hmm. So much so that this is going to come as a shock. They had lost their guitar player, Pete Cortez, and he asked me if I wanted to come up and audition.
Nice.
Which I declined because I was 1 year away from graduating from St. John's, and I wanted to just get the degree this way in case, being in a band didn't work out. I had a fallback plan. Right. But every time I met up with him afterwards, still awesome bunch of guys to me. And, and honestly, I think the album Alive or Just Breathing is a freaking masterpiece of early 2000s metal in general. Mm-hmm. I think it's a masterpiece. I wouldn't want to have tainted that album with anything that I did. So Jesse's performance on it, I mean, to this day, I still think it's the best thing that I've ever done. That's not taking anything away from Howard. But yeah, no, I that's just it's just my personal preference. I prefer Jesse to Howard, but I think Howard was amazing with Kill Switch.
And I know it sounds like it's blasphemy, but I enjoy their Dio cover of Holy Diver. I think it's one of the better covers out there because they did their own little thing with it.
Yeah,
And
like saying no, yeah.
Yeah.
Harry Barnett said, what a great camera James has that it can capture such an image while he's in the middle of that valley.
It is, yeah.
And Stan says Richie Faulkner replacing KK Downing and Glenn Tipton. That's pretty big.
Well, technically, Glenn's still in the band.
Yeah. Well, his position in the band's a little shaky right now.
Oh, Wayne. Oh.
Speaking of Judas Priest, I'm going to go with Scott Travis. I do like some of the previous drummers that were in Judas Priest, but Scott Travis came in there, did Painkiller, and made that band, awesome. You can't get no more metal than at that period of time than Painkiller. That double bass drumming in that song, and then that awesome intro that everybody tries to emulate, all these metal bands and stuff, and then just what he did to Judas Priest just made them huge, bigger than they already were. To me, I don't know. Anyway,
I think it does get the with that whole switching up the drum styles, it does make it a little bit more hard charging sound when they actually wanted to go fast. Now I know they were all lost in the sauce there during the 80s because I mean you have one good album, one absolute dog turd of one. So yeah, we don't talk about Turbo around here. No, I'm kidding.
Ram It Down was worse than Turbo.
This is true. This is true. I wasn't gonna go that far, but okay. Since we did that, no. I really do enjoy the Painkiller. And some of the other albums after that. So obviously, one of my favorite ones was one of you guys' ones that you guys hated.
Did you like Demolition better than Jugulator?
No, I liked Jugulator and Demolition way more than most of the Judas Priest albums.
Yeah.
Jugulator's definitely up there for me as one of my favorite ones, but I think it's a better album than Demolition. We already discussed this in the
we did 3 months of this shit. We already
3 months.
These answers.
It felt like an eternity.
Stan says Scott is a boring ass drummer.
That's okay. He can be wrong.
I mean, if we want to talk about stuff from 1990, certainly not Mitch Harris and Napalm Death. Go buy Harmony Corruption. Buy it now.
All right, Greg. All right, what else you got, Greg?
So this one kind of covers multiple bands, mostly because he really didn't stay in any of the bands for various reasons, more than one album, but another death metal one. James Murphy, when he came in a Death, Obituary, Cancer, and Testament as well. And for the most part, those albums are one of my favorites, if not my favorite overall from the bands. He's just got such a unique style. He's such a great player. He really brought out the best in everyone. I mean, Cause of Death by Obituary is a masterpiece. So is Death Shall Rise by Cancer. Low by Testament is my favorite album by them. And I can't remember the name of the one he did with them in 99, but he took what I've always felt, even though I like a few albums by them, was a fairly average band and just elevated them to this ridiculous level.
That was The Gathering, Greg. That's my favorite Testament album.
And that's a great one too. I like Low better, but both of them are great. But I mean, his guitar work on Cause of Death, and then with Chuck Schindler and Terry Butler and Bill Andrews all in Death. I so wish that didn't go down the way it did with the tour. I would have loved to have heard another album with the four of them playing together.
Well, I'm looking at all the stuff that he's been on. I mean, the albums that he's done with Obituary, like you mentioned, Obituary.
I really would love to get him on here. I so want to talk to James, even his solo albums. He's just such an amazing guitarist.
He is active on Facebook. We It would be
Yes,
cool to ask him.
Yeah, I think I'm just going to end up messaging him out of the blue. I was trying to find someone that maybe knew him, but I haven't had any success so far.
Hi, I Facebook stalked you. I'm a huge fan. Please come to our
Block.
show.
That's what I write.
Well, you know,
sometimes it works.
one of the things I would like to talk to him about most, which generally when he's interviewed, I don't see it brought up, is his solo albums. Yeah, and Disincarnate, which was his own death metal project, which was another great record.
Yeah, well, I know that guy. So
yeah, it was just amazing the way he would come in and bring out the best in everyone and the music as well.
Yeah, Lou.
So this one is interesting, but I kind of have to say this is a double whammy, sort of. I'm going to say Michael Schenker replacing Mick Bolton, Larry Wallace, and Bernie Marsden in UFO. And then Uli John Roth replacing Michael Schenker in
Good one.
Scorpions. The material that they released with those bands at that time stands upon my favorite eras of those bands. And I love UFO. I love what they did with Paul Chapman. I love what they did with Atomic Tommy McClendon. But I mean, I just remember hearing Lights Out and In Trance, UFO and Scorpions, and those albums had bigger impacts on me than anything else that the bands have ever done. So
Very interesting.
I concur.
Two bands I still don't like. God, you guys not mentioning anything I like.
You don't like?
I thought you were a UFO fan.
I'm not really yet. I have. I think I have a best of, and that's about it.
He's on his way.
I'm on my way.
It's growing.
I haven't delved deep into the UFO discography. One day.
Scorpions, man, come on.
I've tried. I just
won't even listen to the one with Mickey D on it, dude.
Animal Magnetism.
No. I bought 3 Scorpions CDs in a yard sale over the summer, and
he wants his money back.
Yeah, I want them back. No, I just threw them up on eBay because I listened to one because it was all scratched. I'm like, oh man, this probably won't even play. So I listened to
Which
it.
one?
I don't remember. It was one from the 90s.
Yeah. See, no, not what we're talking about at all.
No, I get it. The earlier stuff is always better, but I just couldn't get into it. I just don't like his vocals, and I don't. The songs just don't do nothing for me either. I don't know. It's just I don't like them. I've tried and tried. I give up.
The fuck?
Well, then get that Cancer album, damn it, and get you to look something good.
I don't know. We'll see. Stan says Mike Weed replacing Michael Denner. Mike Weed didn't replace Michael Denner. Oh, I guess he did in Merciful Fate.
Well, kinda, but.
Yeah.
But they didn't record anything. Oh, did they?
I'm thinking, yeah.
Yeah.
Mike,
I'm sorry. I'm confusing it. Never mind.
Yeah, I'm confusing it with King Diamond.
Yeah.
Oh no, he took that back. He said, "Hell no." But Mike Weed replacing who the hell did Mike Weed replacing King Diamond?
Was it
God, I can't
Sherman?
remember. No, it wasn't like a really well-known person. But either way, he's good in King Diamond. He's just not good for Merciful Fate. Back to me, my pick.
Wait, what about James?
Yeah.
Fuck him. He's after me.
Yeah.
Is he? Or is he before?
Yeah,
me?
well,
too.
No,
Well,
he was
all right, go ahead, James.
the last in line.
Go ahead, James.
Okay, well, I'm actually going to go non-metal route because I don't believe the Red Hot Chili Peppers are. But John, I never knew how to say his last name.
Frusciante?
And him coming in and
Leaving again, and coming in and then leaving.
I was about to
again.
say, and then leaves and then comes back. I put and the musical chairs of guitarists after Blood Sugar Sex Magic.
Yeah. But every time he comes back, he makes the band better.
Yeah, he really does. Yeah,
Right.
they do Californication. He leaves. He goes back, does Stadium Arcadium. Then he leaves.
Yeah. So he is he makes that band.
I actually think Californication, by the way, and Stadium Arcadium was his longest run with the band.
It really is. Well,
Yeah.
and honestly, I feel like he's one of the, and it's a really tragic reason why he leaves the band is because, well, I don't think he can handle the fame of being on tour and everything like that with his demons and everything.
That was the first time. Second time was because of his wife, who was making a nice fat alimony check.
Yeah.
Jeez. All right. My pick. This is the greatest replacement of them all.
I think I know what you're gonna say, so go ahead.
Sammy Hagar replacing David Lee Roth in Van Halen.
Good night, everybody.
Love Comes Walking In. I mean, come on. 5150. OU 2812, whatever the hell the album's called.
I'd rather a 5150
That is
anvil
the
fall on my
worst
head.
album ever did.
I would rather 5150 out of this conversation with that freaking thing.
No, I'm kidding.
I'd rather 5150 ton girls suffocate me than ever have to listen to that
album. I'm kidding, but since I'm a huge Halloween fan, if you guys didn't know that already.
What? Cease and assist.
You don't say.
And it's hard for me to say anything about Halloween because every era of the band is like my favorite era. And but the original drummer passed away, and his replacement was Uli Kusch, and he was in a lot of different bands before. He was in like a Holy Mother, and he was even Gamma Ray. He was in tons of bands before he got to Halloween.
This Holy Mother?
No, not Holy Mother. Holy oh crap. I said it wrong.
Hi, Mike Torelli. How you doing?
Holy Moses. I'm sorry.
Okay.
But that was another well-known German band or whatever. But Uli Kusch taking over drums in Halloween, it gave them it brought them back to like their early power metal style, because they came out with Chameleon and Pink Bubbles Go Away from them. They were kind of getting soft or whatever. And then once he came into the band, and then Andy Dearest joined the band, they just came back to what they were known for in the beginning, And I would say Andy Dearest too, but I love Michael Kiske so much as their vocalist. It's hard to say Andy Dearest, even though Andy Dearest has done a lot more in Halloween than Michael Kiske ever did. I'm just going to go with Uli. And I love the new members that are in the band now. I mean, they're doing good, but I think that period where Uli was in the band, that's like my favorite era of Halloween, even after the Keepers albums.
I'd have to agree with you. I still say that 3-album lineup of Master of the Rings and Time of the Oath, which is my favorite Halloween album, and Better Than Raw, those 3 albums in a row, that's like one of the best metal consistent triads. Yeah. 3 albums in a row structures done by any band. So yeah. And he contributed a lot to the songwriting as well as the drumming. So
yeah, yep, he did a lot in the band too. So it sucked when he left, and Roland left too, but it is what it is.
Left.
Yeah, exactly. Greg.
When Ronnie James Dio joined Black Sabbath.
Amen.
Mm-hmm.
Because they were just reborn, whole new dimension of the band, and we talked about this before, how it opened up more songwriting possibilities and stuff like that. But it's Heaven and Hell, the album just makes such an impact on me still to this day, because legitimately the first 5 Black Sabbath albums are great, excellent masterpieces. But there was only so far they could go really with that. And then the cracks kind of showed. They did 2 albums that, while I still like them a lot, aren't really on point. And well, frankly, they seem tired of it. It's funny because I like the title track Never Say Die when it's played live, but on the album, it sounds like the death knell for the band. It's just awful. They want to sound so energetic, and no one sounds like they want to be there. So
yeah, that's what always amazed me about the Heaven and Hell album. It's just a huge departure from the last few albums that Black Sabbath did with Ozzy.
It is, but you can still tell it's Black Sabbath though, and that's what's amazing about it, and they just have so much energy. Like I said, it's not just even their back, it's like they were reborn for Neon Nights. And the documentary we talked about last week and all that, right? Ronnie just had so much heart and energy. Children of the Sea is one of the best songs of all time.
Yeah Definitely is. It just sucks that the way that whole thing went down. We talked about that on the last episode, but
It really does. But You're Born Again will always be my favorite Sabbath record, and if that didn't happen, we wouldn't have that. Although,
what if Ronnie James Dio sang Born Again?
Wouldn't work.
You don't think it would have worked?
I wouldn't like disturbing the priest as much. I can tell you that right now. There's something about Gillan's shrieks and his laughing and that, and just all over the record that just does it. And also, as much as I like Ronnie, the way he sung when he did metal, although him with just the piano, he's clearly capable of it, but I don't really see him doing like Keep It Warm or Hotline very good. And it probably would have been a totally different album anyway.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, look, let's face facts. Ronnie and Ian Gillan are two completely different lyricists.
Oh yeah.
Ian, I mean, for God's sakes, think about the song Knocking at Your Back Door from Deep Purple. I never heard anyone ever use the term cunning linguist ever in a song, and
shrewd and cunning linguist,
and right, and Ronnie would not write bawdy lyrics
right
like that. I mean, as much as I say, Sabbath is my favorite band, without Iommi, it can't sound like Sabbath. Every vocalist adds their flair to it. So, I mean, it sounded odd when Ian Gillan was singing Dio or Ozzy songs, but the stuff he did on Born Again was amazing.
What's interesting about that is, though, and you can disagree with me if you want, but it's definitely something to think about. I never, ever liked Ozzy singing Rock and Roll Doctor, but when Gillan did it live on the Born Again tour, it just brought it to life.
I'll give you that. I actually have the Born Again Deluxe Edition where the second CD is all live tracks, and that sounded good.
Yeah, it's just something. And I mean, Ozzy tried it, just wasn't in his wheelhouse. But Ian was that type of vocalist, and he brought it out. And he actually did a pretty good job, I think, because of the tone, probably, in which they recorded Born Again and what they were striving for with that record. He did the song itself, Black Sabbath, pretty well.
Yeah, they also detuned their instruments down a whole step on the Born Again album and tour, which on Technical Ecstasy and Never Say Die, they played in standard, which, it didn't sound like Ozzy was struggling on those albums, but on the tours, he definitely was, as opposed to them being in C sharp standard, which is 1.5 steps tuned down. So, I'll give you that.
All right, Lou, what's your next pick?
Well, I don't want to repeat anything that you guys said because, Adrian was on my list. And I'm not going to spoil one of Greg's picks, even though him and I talked about it before we went on air. And we both had a similar. No, I won't. I'm just going to go outside of the wheelhouse a little bit. Actually, James, why don't you go ahead of me? It's fine.
Why is that? What happened here?
Because I'm still looking.
Okay. Well, I my last one. I have Justin Chancellor replacing Paul Dimore in the band Tool.
That's a good one.
It just I mean, don't get me wrong, I like Undertow and everything like that, but when Chancellor came in, it completely changed the sound of Tool into the prog metal group that they are today, and everything I loved and everything, and he's just awesome live.
Got it. So I'm gonna say Deep Purple, David Coverdale replacing Ian Gillan, because as much as I loved, Highway Star and Smoke on the Water as a kid, when I first heard the Burn album, I was blown away. And it's great that Whitesnake still plays that era of Purple live. They do Burn and Stormbringer and Mistreated. You'll never hear Gillan ever attempt to sing those songs. But, Burn is my favorite album from Deep Purple. That's my favorite lineup of Deep Purple. So I have to give, David Coverdale credit, a more than sufficient replacement for Ian Gillan.
Good one. Good one. My list is pretty much done. But just some honorable mentions. Messiah, Marcolin from Candlemass. I like him way better than First Singer. First Singer was okay, but Messiah really made Candlemass for me.
I only like the one album, so
Really? Oh man. And Steve Perry from Journey. He wasn't the original singer. A lot of people don't realize
Steve Perry.
oh yeah, that's a good one too.
Yeah.
Without Steve Perry, I don't know if Journey would have ever been as famous as they became.
You got that, Jonathan Cain?
Yeah, you got that. So whoever else has stuff. Greg, you got anybody else?
Yeah. This is a double whammy, but they were both in the same band, although they joined at different points. But Bruce Kulick and especially Eric Carr in Kiss.
See, I talked about this at work because I told them what we were doing tonight, and I did bring those guys up. I brought Eric Carr, at least I brought up, and he's a better drummer than Peter Criss. Peter Criss is more jazz drumming, and Eric Carr is more the hard rock type stuff. And to me, even though Eric Carr didn't play on the better Kiss albums, he's just a better overall drummer.
Well, he is. He's definitely technically better. I mean, he didn't have quite the same feel to him on like songs that Chris originated, like Black Diamond, but he still played them good. He just had his own style with it. But Peter Criss would have never been able to pull off a lot of what Eric did on Music from the Elder. I'll tell you,
not at all. No.
And Eric, I mean, he was just so much more forceful and bombastic in the way he played, like Creatures of the Night, even though ironically it didn't do as good as Lick It Up, even though it's a better album. But we could talk about that all day and we all know why. But Eric, because I debated with this a little bit, because at first I was going to say Vinnie Vincent, because he did do a lot of good co-writing stuff with him. And, he was a shredder, but he had an ear for melody, which is why I don't think Mark St. John ever worked in Kiss, by the way. That just did not really fit with their sound when they did Animalized. But it's more Eric Carr and his heart and his drive and how he helped propulse the band's sound forward and change. And then how Kulick came in when, Gene was really fairly disinterested in doing anything with Kiss and was really the only one who had in mind kind of that old in your face rock that Kiss was really known for. Because Paul, even the songs he was writing, they were really focused on following other people at the time, like Asylum. I like a couple songs from it, but that's more like Dokken than it is Kiss, really, except for a lot of the times what Bruce was involved in writing. And you can really hear that on Crazy Nights.
Yeah, I thought, Eric was my favorite drummer in Kiss, and and I still say that my favorite line of Kiss ever was the Unmasked Tour Elder album, which people think I'm crazy about, but again, that's just my preference. And I love Bruce as a guitar player, and I thought what Bruce did was not that he homogenized a if you took Ace's contributions, Vinny's contributions, Mark St. John's contributions, and put them in a blender, I don't think Bruce homogenized them. I think he added a flair of heart, technical ability, and just skill to Kiss's music. I mean, the Animalized tour, Jesus Christ, that band was on fire. Like, I saw the Animalized live uncensored video, and I would have been proud to have called myself a Kiss fan if I had been to that concert. I resented the fact that he unfortunately earned the nickname Spruce Kulick, because they would say he would just stand there and play. And I'm like, dude, you got Paul doing his raps and his dancing when he's playing. Let Bruce just play his solo. Let him do his job. Leave him alone.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm really surprised you picked those two, especially Bruce. Especially with everybody loves Ace, but I love Bruce. He's awesome.
I mean, Ace is great, and even though he's a whack job, I really like Vinnie Vincent's guitar playing and writing. But Bruce was the only other one that's ever joined the band, including Tommy Thayer in the guitarist spot, that really was more about what was doing right for Kiss, which kind of sounds like towing the Gene and Paul line, but that's not how I mean it in a financial sense. I mean it in a musical sense, what was best to keep them on track. And the same thing with Eric Carr, and they played really good and tight together. And that's why I even like Carnival of Souls. There's a lot on that album that they do really well.
Yeah, I like that album too. And pretty much, Greg, I think we could sum up how we feel about Bruce's time in Kiss is that he made Kiss viable as a band, not as a brand, which is what Gene wants to do, which for music fans, we just care about the music. So,
all right, Lou, we got one more. What was the one you weren't going to say?
Well, I wasn't going to say Eric Carr because I wanted to give Greg the honor of saying it. And he already mentioned Adrian Smith. I guess if I have one more, and I'm going to go out on a whim when I say this, but, I'll say some honorable mentions first. James LaBrie in Dream Theater, Love, Images, and Words. That was a great addition.
Though, technically, the first singer on the Dream Theater album wasn't really in the band.
Charlie Dominici was not a member?
No, not really. He was picked to record the album.
Yeah, but he did do some shows at Sundance and Bayshore with them.
Yeah, he did do shows in here and there, but he was only picked to do the album. So he wasn't technically originally in the band.
All right. Let's see what else. I
love that album, by the way.
Yeah. I guess I got to give credit to Eric Singer as well, because I thought Revenge was a great album. He did replace Bill Ward in Black Sabbath for Seven Star and Eternal Idol, and his playing was great on those records.
Is he the longest drummer in Kiss now?
Officially, yeah.
Yeah.
And twice tenured. Trying to think. It's funny you mentioned Frusciante before, and not Chad Smith, but James. But I'll say Chad Smith as a drummer was a great addition to the Chili Peppers. Although I think it's funny now that Dave Navarro of Jane's Addiction replaced John Frusciante, but now Frusciante's back in the band, and what's his name? Dave Navarro had to sit out the previous Jane's Addiction tour and the future Jane's Addiction tour. Previous one, he was replaced with Troy Van Leeuwen of Queens of the Stone Age. This time he's getting replaced by Josh Klinghoffer, whom John Frusciante replaced in the Red Hot Chili Peppers this time around. There's a lot of crazy shit going on in California. That's all I'm going to say.
Just a normal time in LA.
Yeah, I guess so. But I guess for my final, I'm going to say Richie Faulkner, replacing KK and Judas Priest, because I know you guys hated Redeemer of Souls.
Only because of the sound. If it sounds,
it sounds like shit.
Yeah, that was about the production for me, not really the music.
But firepower, holy crap!
Yeah.
If anyone wants to listen to some killer guitar playing and killer songwriting, you got to acknowledge Richie Faulkner and Judas Priest. So there you go.
There you go. And my final one is Blaze Bayley from Iron Maiden.
Oh, for God's sake!
Yeah, we knew that was gonna happen.
Being replaced by Bruce Dickinson. Good idea.
I do like X Factor, but no. So that's it. This was pretty fun. It was very thought provoking. What?
One more honorable mention.
All right, go ahead.
Dan Chewy Mongrain from Voivod, because he was absolutely the perfect person to pick up and carry on Voivod's legacy in Piggy's place. Much respect to him, and he's awesome. And also Rocky, the newer bass player, has been with him for a few years now, but he's another one, just totally understands what they're about, and they're just as good now as they've ever been.
Very cool. Very
I'm
cool.
surprised nobody picked David Gilmour replacing Sid Barrett in Pink Floyd, but
I
throw him out
thought
there, too.
about that, but
Oh, you know, I just remembered one other guy. Go ahead.
Okay.
Continue. Oh, you want me to say it?
what's that? Go ahead.
Henry Rollins.
That's true.
Oh,
He was
Black
not the
Flag.
original
He was
singer
not
in
the
Black
original
Flag.
in Black. Yep, he was not. If you're ready to get in the van.
See, personally, I like Keith Morris's vocals better.
I do
Round-
too. I like
good
him.
job, but well, you can get it all in the first 4 years comp, except for the 3 different versions of Damage they recorded with the different vocalists, which is on Everything Went Black. But I don't know, the energy, just the way them guys sung differently, I guess. Like, I don't dislike Damage, but I prefer Dez and Keith in Black Flag.
All right.
But Henry's cool, and My War is a great album.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Good stuff. All right. This was a pretty cool show. Like I said, go to retsailreview.com. Wait for severedangel.com to be coming very soon. The album release will be mentioned very soon. There will be a single coming out very soon. I'm working on the video right now. Just got to wait for Lazy George to record his part of the video.
If you have any of your favorite replacement members, put them in the comment section.
Yeah, but then please put them in the comments. We'd like to know that.
Totally, we'll discuss it.
Yeah.
And also put that on the Facebook page as well.
Yep, put it on the Facebook page. Put it everywhere, and even in the if you're gonna do a review of our show, let us know what you think of the show on iTunes or wherever you can review the show. I have no idea, but give us some good stars and stuff because we need that. And let people know about us and hit that subscribe button because we're almost to 1,000. We're at 887 right now, so we're getting closer and closer.
Is that limited edition Def Leppard still around?
It is still there. We didn't get to 1,000 yet, so it's still here. Lou has it.
It's up there somewhere. Hold on.
There it is.
It survived Christmas, folks. It did not get re-gift.
It was not used as a drink
Valentine's Day's
coaster.
coming around, guys. You know, that special ladies of Def Leppard fan, you know.
Come on, you get to listen to Jim Crean doing Def Leppard karaoke.
Exactly. Who does not want to hear that on a romantic day like Valentine's Day?
By the way, there's one topic I wanted to mention, but is it true that Carmine Appice said that Van Halen's Eruption was either borrowed or inspired by Cactus? Is it true Carmine Appice said this?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw something about that too.
Who had the article that I read? Might have been Ultimate Classic Rock, but yeah, he did say it in an interview.
I find that hard to believe.
Well, you know, the thing about it is the blues riff that he's talking about, Eddie just took it and part of Eruption and made it his own. It's
do you know how many
have done that?
Do you know how many
played really energetic?
Do you know how many songs AC/DC use the A to G to T?
Yes.
I mean,
whole career.
Highway to Hell, perfect example.
Yep.
Speaking
No,
of AC/DC,
that's what I mean. It's just an absurd claim.
Well, I mean the great Dave Grohl story to bring that back around. When I forget which funk band he used the whole drum solo into Smells Like Teen Spirit. He went to the actual band, showed up at one of the record parties. He goes like, "Oh, hey guys, I'm a big fan. I actually used your guys' riff for Smells Like Teen Spirit." They just went, "I know," and walked and turned around and walked away.
I'm surprised nobody mentioned Brian Johnson.
Well, I think that was Manny's number one choice.
Yeah, that'd have been Manny,
But he didn't want to offend Jesse Fink.
Exactly.
Yeah.
One
But I
more
mean, but
thing.
also,
What?
in my, we did say our favorite ones, and I don't know if that would be one of our favorites.
No, I was only kidding anyway. I mean, I like AC/DC with Brian Johnson, but he's no Bon Scott.
Yeah, I like him, but it wouldn't be a favorite. Not even.
I mean, his most successful album is the one where he's singing a bunch of alleged Bon Scott songs.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, very credible. One thing before I forget, and I keep forgetting since we started the show back up, we will be starting up a radio show on freeworld.fm. So if you go to freeworld.fm, it's not up yet. I'm still waiting. You can go there and there'll be a little thing that you can put your email address and subscribe there, and it will let you know when that station will be on air. It's going to be sometime this year. I have no idea when. I don't know what time we'll be on. I'm hoping maybe 10 o'clock Wednesday nights right after this show. So it'll be music, and hopefully you guys join me. And
how much Halloween are you are you contractually obligated to not play like every single Halloween song?
I can play whatever I please.
Get ready for a lot of Halloween, kids.
It's the whole show. Actually, the whole thing is going to be dedicated to Halloween.
I was expecting
some Napalm Death in there.
We're going to play everything, so it'll be fun.
No. Cal Decapitation.
I don't care what it is. Whatever you guys want to play with, we're going to do it. It's going to be a lot of fun if it ever happens. So go to freeworld.fm, hit subscribe, ratsaladreview.com, hit subscribe on YouTube and everywhere else you listen and watch us. And anything else?
Yeah, James, how's your sports podcast going?
So speaking of that one, I want to thank Rocky Mountain Sports Network for letting us be on their show this last college football season. But we will be debuting on our own. We're going independent, folks. We're leaving the confines of there, and we're going wrestling on the roads, folks. And No Huddle will be having their own podcast distributed, and we have a Facebook page up, and we're getting ready to start what we call the talking season of college football, because there is no such thing as an off season in college football. We just change how we do it. There's no games actually being played, so
you're going Outlaw Mud Show then?
We're not going Outlaw Mud Show, sir. We are not going to be breaking glass over people's heads. We're doing more Smoky Mountain than we are that, sir. By the way, I know Lou, we're big wrestling fans here, and I know Wayne is a wrestling fan as well. Rest in peace, Jay Briscoe.
Yeah,
that was just a very tragic thing. I am so happy to hear that his daughter Gracie got feeling back in her legs. I know that's devastating for a young competitive girl like that to have that type of injury and lose your dad and all that stuff with it. So yeah, I just wanted to say that, as a parting.
Yeah, and we talked about that last week. Yes, that was terrible. What?
No, again, yeah, it was. I know that the Pugh family, not again, their kayfabe name is Briscoe, but the Pugh, they're God-fearing Christians from Sandy Fork, Delaware, and they've forgiven the family of the person that caused the accident, and they're marching forward, trying to grow from this, and trying to help others. And I think they actually have a benefit t-shirt on prowrestlingtees.com if anyone wants to buy one to contribute for the Pugh family, because pro wrestling is not the lucrative business that it once was. Once you get onto TV, it's like to keep your spot on TV and earn that money. It's like, you got to be built in bigger angles and in main events. So, if you wanted to just buy a shirt and support the family, just type in Jay Briscoe tribute shirt on prowrestlingtees.com.
Yeah, because they were not the most cosmetically pleasing, is what John Laurinaitis once said.
Well, they forgot the part where this was a damn beauty contest. Terry Funk didn't wear no mouthpiece.
Huh?
Where's Abe at?
All right, Lou, anything for you?
Well, I I just uploaded a string of episodes from November till recent. I was going through some crazy stuff in the summertime, with well, we were recording the Severed Angel album as well as the singles, and my dog was diagnosed with anal gland carcinoma, of which he's recuperated, and he actually has a checkup in 2 weeks. So, but he's doing great. So I really kind of put the kibosh on Music is Life podcast a little bit, but I'm hoping to get back into it soon. Start interviewing more people. I know James and I have an episode that we want to do where we discuss the Buddy Rich tapes, which I'm looking forward to that.
Oh boy.
I got some friends of mine who are musicians who want to discuss stuff as well. So definitely want to get them some shine. Let's see the episodes that I just, I released the one with Professor William Irwin, great guest. The guys who do the Gene Simmons Moneybag Sodas. I think I slipped twice during the episode and called it Money Grab Sodas, so I had to edit that. I'm so sorry, John and Paul, but I fixed that for the episode. And I had my buddy Matt Micolo, who I did a track with called Havana Heat, had him on the show, and one of the international artists that he's worked with, Antesians out of Indonesia. So I had my second international artist on Music is Life podcast, and that was pretty cool. He's opening Music is Life podcast in Indonesia now. So thank you, Antesians, and thanks, Matt. So now that things have calmed down a little bit, maybe I can get back into doing a couple of episodes. But again, work, life, band, and podcast, not in that order. It's and family. It's a lot of work. Crazy.
And one of these days we need to do that Django Reinhardt episode as well.
Yes, we'd love to do that, but definitely want to get the crazy stuff out. So we need to do Buddy Rich.
All right. Well, that's it. Thank you guys for watching the show. RightSoundReview.com.
Oh,
see what?
I actually have a fucking idea for once.
Oh,
all right.
Okay.
Whoa! He's going to tell.
Oh, and one more thing. We are doing the King Diamond podcast is coming back next week, so be on the lookout for that. Go ahead.
Well, no, I mean, I've been talking to John Castigian for a while about, getting Screams from the Grave back going again. So that'll definitely be coming up soon. I want to get in touch with him as well. And just because I know you guys, our schedules don't always coincide, but we definitely plan on doing some with everyone, or at least Lou, because Lou usually agrees with me. Wayne doesn't like Klaus Maine, so, James has to make dinner, but we'll get him on there eventually.
Hey, I'm in a fine potato soup tonight. Okay.
Which Scorpions album are you thinking? Which Scorpions album are you thinking?
Really, man.
Oh no, I wasn't talking about doing a Scorpions album first. Actually, the one I was talking to John about that I want to do is by a very obscure band that plays in that old school heavy metal sound. I think they were Scandinavian, maybe Dutch, but Cuddy Sark, Die Tonight.
Oh.
Yeah, that elicited about the response I expected. No, honestly, I think all of you
notice
guys,
both Wayne and James had their heads down.
Yeah.
Well, I'm all for trying to figure out these bands. It's like I know there's a shit ton I've never heard of before. So,
but one thing I wanted to start doing on the Rat Salad review page, just because I've seen other people doing it, is ranking bands' albums and just doing a quick write up day and day here to there. Because after doing the Maiden versus Priest thing, we don't need to do 3 months of that every now and then. So,
nope.
I think it'd be a quicker way to do it, and we could all chime in the comments even. And really, the question I was going to pose to our viewers is: there's 3 I've been thinking of the most. One is Black Sabbath. The other was AC/DC, and I really think the one that would be most challenging for me, just because I like them so much, it'd be Blue Oyster Cult. So Stan, if you want to see it, say yeah. And then we'll decide which one I'm going to do first.
I'm thinking you're thinking either Revolution by Night or Imaginos.
Yeah, yeah. That you couldn't decide on which one would be last, but those would definitely be the two.
Hmm. Well, I
But
liked Revolution by Night, so
Hmm.
I really like some songs from it, but whereas even on Club Ninja, even though there's a bunch of outside producers from it, you still had Sandy Pearlman there to kind of bring them back full circle. Where it's even though it's different, it's AOR-ish, it's very 80s. It still sounds like Blue Oyster Cult. There are a lot of moments on Revolution by Night that do not sound like BOC.
no, but I do like Aldo Nova better with BOC than I ever did him with Bon Jovi.
Indeed. And I mean, there's even some on there like Veins, where it's total 80s AOR, but it's weird enough where it works for Blue Oyster Cult, and they really make it their own. It just on Revolution by Night, Fire of the Unknown Origin, I would put right up there with their first three records. It's just as great. And they had that perfect balance of 80s chart toppers at the time and that kind of sound. And then they're more hard rock BOC sound, and they kind of lost it, went almost completely one way on Revolution by Night. Still a couple good tunes on it, but not as good as a lot of the other ones.
Well, yeah, well, big shift with band members going from Albert Bouchard to Rick Downey. Although Rick is a great drummer, as you could hear on Revolution and Extraterrestrial Live, which I think I'm in the minority here. I do love that album. So
no, honestly, Extraterrestrial Live is my now On Your Feet or On Your Knees would be my favorite live release, but I do like Extraterrestrial much better than Some Enchanted Evening. I will say that's actually, honestly, I think one of Buck's best guitar solos is on ETL. The solo he does on
Veteran,
Another Psychic Wars. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But and the reason I was saying that this would be a tough one for me, and I think it would be fun, is because in doing these rankings, and I've written the Sabbath ones up already, actually, but I'm trying to look at it objectively, not just what's my favorite. Because like I was saying, I'd rate a lot of them 10 out of 10 just because of how they were. But to be honest, I would have to place Mirrors pretty low too, as much as I like that album, because it sounds more like the Cars than it does Blue Oyster Cult.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Not that that's bad.
And here's a discussion, a bonus episode of Rat Salad Review where we discuss Blue Oyster Cult.
Oh yeah, we could do that as a special 2 weeks in a row.
We do pretty well with BOC actually on this show.
Yeah, actually,
Yeah,
we all like
Gets
them.
brought up quite often. All right. Anybody else?
Manny,
Are we done now?
Yeah, I
All right,
think
we're done now.
yeah.
All right.
Stop chewing on.
Well, I mean, I was gonna make the joke, but then Greg kind of pounded BOC and the thing. I was like, we can just have Greg rank all of his Voivod albums together.
wait, if that's the case, we have to honor Manny by saying one thing. Alice Cooper. Okay, we're good.
Yeah. Well, that I still want to do on the show album by album, because like he and I were saying, that's very multifaceted and I think would be neat. And you don't hear his whole catalog done a whole lot.
No, especially that Lost era, his early 80s era.
Yep.
We will talk about doing that. So at some point that'll happen. But until then, we will see you all next week. Bye.
Demoni.
See ya.